Hello everyone, this is Matthew and welcome to another video, and today we are going to be doing the King review of the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which came out on the October of 2019. And I was being very specific because there's a lot of Modern Warfares out there. So you've got the Modern Warfare Remastered, and then this Modern Warfare, so the first negative of the game. So if you don't know, Modern Warfare is a first-person shooter. It has a campaign, multiplayer, and special ops. And one of the main focuses of the game is that XP is carried across from the co-op and multiplayer, and the campaign lets you get tokens which give you double XP for weapons and your player to use to get more XP. So we'll start off with the campaign. So the past few campaigns have been pretty bad. This one is pretty good, and I will recommend that you play it on realistic because it forces you to be more tactical. This campaign, I'd say, is probably built for a more harder difficulty that you play it on, because I was playing it on realistic and I was thinking to myself, if I wasn't playing this on realistic, it would be so much more boring, because it was forcing me to hide behind corners, not just run out and shoot everyone and somehow survive. So, you know, it forces you to be a lot more tactical. And the situations for each mission are different. So there's a terrorist attack, there's a stealth mission where you have to go in and disable lights and power, and there's one where you have to pretend to be a civilian inside of a terrorist controlled town, and it's very interesting. But the only thing is, there's not much story. You know, you've got the locations and the people, but there's not much of a story. You're not focusing on any one individual. It's kind of a broad, big story, just like, oh yeah, this country is experiencing this. There's no focusing on a particular family or group of people. So you could say that's pretty bad, but Call of Duty is known for focusing on the gameplay, so we can kind of let that one slide by. So let's move on to the multiplayer now. So the multiplayer has so many game modes, it's unbelievable, which is good, but once the game starts to die down, it'll be hard to get enough people to be in each of the game modes to have a match for each of those. So that's kind of bad, but for now, that's amazing. They've added in daily challenges, which is good, and so that makes you come back every day to play them, and the rewards are pretty good, but the challenges themselves are a little bit varied, so it kind of forces you to use different guns that you don't normally use. So one of them is maybe get 30 SMG kills, the other one is get 10 headshots with an AR. So, you know, if you want to get your challenges, you need to change up your play style. But that reminds me that the other challenges, which are the normal challenges, which you can get calling cards, emblems, camos from, are very bad, because there's different sections like boot camp, which is just, oh, win 5 matches of multiplayer, win 5 matches of domination. They're very boring, but the worst thing is you can only equip one at a time. So if every time you play a match, you need to go in and select a new challenge, or select a subtitle, which is like boot camp, and then play 5 team deathmatch. But then you need to remember that challenge is done, and then play domination. So that's really bad, because you need to keep switching it. So it's going to take so long to do it. And if you complete a challenge in the first 10 seconds of a match, then the rest of that match you won't be doing any challenge progress. So I really hate that part about it. And there's different operators that you can use, but none of them have anything that'll give you an advantage in the game, or have any abilities. They're just all cosmetic, and it's pretty bad because you're choosing from these 16 people, well, 16 there is now, and you can't personalize it. So if you're going to add in cosmetic, at least put in cosmetic things that you can personalize. So change your own hat, change your own top, change your own trousers, change your own shoes. Not choosing from a list of 16 people, because that's too many people to choose from. especially when they're all the exact same person. The only style is different color of clothes, so it's the exact same person but just different color clothes. So it's very bad. So now, oh, the main thing, Scorestreaks can be Killstreaks. Now, I don't know if Modern Warfare 3 and 2 had this, but I always used to see that Killstreaks were so annoying because I'm like, oh man, I'm capturing this domination point and I can't get my Killstreaks now. But now there's a perk you can get to put on your loadout, which can make it a score streak. So if you're capturing loads of domination points, you can get your score streaks instead of having to kill people to get your score streaks or kill streaks. It's very confusing. Another really good thing about it, the multiplayer, is the gun customization. Now, it is so good that it's too good. It's so good that it's too much. Well, let's just say you can have 5 attachments on your gun. There's 7 potential areas, or 8. It depends which gun you're customizing. Potential areas that you can customize your gun. So the barrel, the scope, the magazine size, the grip at the back, the front grip, maybe a silencer, maybe an extra attachment like a grenade launcher or a shotgun under barrel. So each one of those, one of them has maybe 30 different things you can put onto that one area. I think one of them, it's the barrel, and there's 30 different barrels you can put onto your gun, and most of them are classified because you haven't got your gun high enough level to unlock them, which is pretty bad. But it's also making you force you to not equip something because you know something better is coming up. So you're kind of like, oh, what am I gonna get when I get my gun to level 35? Whoa, I got a suppressor that's better than that suppressor I want. So if you're the sort of person that likes using the same guns over and over again, the max, well, not the max, but the about the highest level is 65. My gun is about 63, and I use it a lot. You could probably see it now, that AR right there. I love it. It is so good. But there's so much different attachments for each weapon that you can keep. I've been using that gun forever. I've got maybe about 800 kills with it, and I am still unlocking more. It's about in the level 60s. It is so good, and I'm still unlocking more attachments. Moving on to maps now. So the maps, especially for ground war, are very, very, very open. They're very varied. So very varied. So there's a lot of closed areas like in houses. There's lots of open out areas. There's lots of different vantage points. So if you walk into a courtyard, that building has windows there. There's buildings on the side that have windows. Most buildings, if not all, you can go into, which I really like. Apart from some of the maps which are set in city areas, which you can't have every building going into because then the map is going to be huge. So yeah, the maps are very good, especially for ground war. And they've added in a lot of old maps from different Call of Duties, and they've redone them, so that's very good. So a little bit of nostalgia thrown in there for people who have previously played Call of Duty. But one problem for multiplayer, well, another problem for multiplayer, ground war has turned into a lot of sniping. I feel like they should maybe every so often ban certain things from ground war, not permanently, but you go into a match and you can vote on what sort of weapons you want to ban. So like, oh yeah, no snipers this time because I hate getting sniped. Something like that. But don't make it repetitive, like snipers get banned every time. So have like a system that once it's banned, it can be banned again in the next match in that one server. And there's a lot of different types of modes. So you've got casual, competitive, and featured. So featured is like those new ones, or the ones that are most popular, which are always played. Like you've got realism game modes and night vision game modes, and gunfight, which is a new thing, which is 2v2 and 3v3, which is really good. And you've got the old ones like with the old casual game modes like infected, gun game, free for all, which are just you go in, play a match, and you play a different game. Those ones are coming back and it's fun. And then the more competitive ones, hardcore or domination 10v10. You know, very fun game modes. So that's it for multiplayer. So now co-op. Now there's a lot of modes in co-op: special operations, survival, and classic special ops. So special operations is basically just the classic special ops, but bring that up 2 levels, because it's more like a campaign mission, but you can do it with your friends or random people. Now they're very, very, very difficult. I was the only one I've only completed one, and I was playing it with 4 people. 2 of them I knew, so that was an advantage, and we still couldn't do it without cheating. Now, I'm not trying to promote cheating here, but you know, it was so difficult. We found well, it wasn't a glitch. It was just a cheat. One of us got on top of a building, and then when the rest of us on the ground died, that person on top of the building stayed there, because when you respawn, you come out of a plane or you come out of the sky, and he landed and parachuted from the sky onto the building, and the enemies couldn't shoot him from up there. So he just sat up there and waited for us to keep dying and respawning, going down with full ammo, full health, killing everyone. You know, just trimming down the horde. But we only did that is because it was too hard. We were doing that for maybe 2 hours, and these are only meant to be maybe 20-30 minute missions. And it's mostly the juggernauts that cause it too hard. They're putting 20 juggernauts at you, and they're extremely difficult to kill. In Modern Warfare 3 they were so much easier, but they put more at you. But here it's like, oh yeah, we're going to make them 10 times difficult, and we're going to give you slightly less of them. So I'm just warning you, if you find them extremely difficult, you're not the only person. There's no story to these missions. It's just you go in, kill people. There wouldn't be time to focus on the story anyway, because you're talking to your mates most likely, and they focus on a different area of strategy. So you'd start off maybe capturing something or hacking into something, and then you'd need to defend it while it's hacking, and then you'd need to maybe progress to a different area. So you'd need to move through the crowd, kill a few people, you know, and then at the end you'd maybe throw a flare down and wait for a chopper to pick you up, and you need to defend that area. So there's a lot of defense, attacking, loads of different things in these missions, which is really good. And stealth is also in there, which is not always going to work, but it also lets you not do it stealth. So as soon as you get caught, it's not like, oh, mission over. It gives you the option to keep going without that stealth, which I really like. Now moving on to survival. Survival, it's the classic Modern Warfare 3 with slight changes. So it's a lot more tactical. Well, a lot more tactical, a lot more camping. You need to camp unless you're the best person in this entire game. So you've got your gun station, grenade station, and Scorestreak station. And the bad thing about them is you can't use them during the round. So that's really bad. And the gun station, if you're holding your shotgun, and if you go into it, if you press buy ammo for it, it only buys ammo for that shotgun, which is really, really bad, because you've got 30 seconds in the after the round ends to buy stuff, get prepared for the next round, and you don't want to be wasting that time having to fill your ammo for both separate guns. And you need to it's so annoying, because you need to have that weapon equipped if you want to customize it. If I have my shotgun equipped, I can't customize my LMG unless I go out of the thing, re-equip it, and then go into the machine and click on it. And it's very, very, very annoying. And the Scorestreaks, there's a really good thing about the Scorestreaks. They are a little bit on the pricey end, but once you get to those higher rounds, they're more useful, and the price isn't as bad at the higher rounds. So if they're very expensive from round 1 to 10, don't be surprised, because you don't really need them from round 1 to 10. You need them for those higher rounds. But they blow up or get destroyed after 1 round, which is really good, because if you buy 10 and put them all down, then it's kind of cheating if they don't blow up. If they only blow up once they're done, it's kind of cheating. So it's kind of unrealistic, but it's a game. Everything can't be realistic. Also, I want to point out that there's no dogs, and I kind of don't like that, because I kind of liked, well, I'm not trying to say, oh, I like killing dogs, bring them in now, I want to shoot them in the face. It's like a different type of enemy. You're always expecting someone coming at 6 foot through the doorway. But if you just see a dog with 2 C4 strapped to it running through, you're like, pig, I need to kill it. Or dog, I need to kill it. Haha, extreme comedy. But the substitute for the suicide dog is now the suicide man, which is too good. If you're 6 meters away from him and shoot him, you're going to die after 3 of them. When they send in the suicide people, there's normally 5 per round, or 3. 3 of them at 6 meters, between 6 and 4 can kill you. Closer than 4, 2 or 1 of them can kill you. Even if you shoot them before they blow up themselves, they're just going to keep running at you until they blow up. If you shoot them, then they'll blow up. So yeah, be careful of them. Shoot them as far away from you as you can, because they're going to kill you. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, a few last notes. If you're going to play this, play the campaign on realistic. I will highly recommend that, because it makes it so much more fun, so much more tactical. It may take a little bit more time, but trust me, it's going to be a lot more better than going in on easy and going around shooting everyone, running out into the middle of a room, shoot. But instead, you need to sit back, shoot a bit, hide behind the corner, shoot a bit, hide behind the corner. It may be extremely difficult at some points, but the realistic is going to really make it a lot better. So yeah, I am going to give this game a solid 8 out of 10. The reason I'm giving it 8 out of 10 is because when the game first came out, it was very bad. Co-op was ruined. They ruined co-op because the survival is the way it is now. But the classic special ops missions, they were just non-existent, and there was no sort of neither stars to rate how well you did. Maybe if you did it in under 5 minutes to say how you did. But back then, there was one mission called Safeguard, and I thought it was just a harder version of survival, because Safeguard back then, I don't know what it is now. Back then, it was you spawned in. There was no description saying what you need to do. You spawned in. There was 3 Scorestreaks. You picked them up, and then enemies came at you, and you died. There was no thing saying, oh, you got 1 star. Oh, this. It was just that's it. It didn't say, oh, more missions are coming out. I thought Classic Special Ops was just going to be a hard survival for the rest. And I thought, oh, Classic Special Ops is probably the Classic Special Ops from Modern Warfare 3. But no, it wasn't. But now they've improved it and made it more replayable, I'm happy. So that's why it's not a 10 out of 10. It's an 8 out of 10, because they started off with ruining the co-op, and they didn't have infected until the first month and a half of the game, and I wanted infected sooner. So yeah, but the campaign is very good. So an 8 out of 10. It's a definite buy if you like your multiplayer and you have friends to play it with. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the King review. A lot of talking, my mouth's very dry, but I hope it was worth it. So as I say, goodbye.